My name is Arthinox, and this is the Cloaked Mysteries channel. Today we're going to talk about colossal structures built to restrain the forces of nature, structures that, when something goes wrong, can turn into silent and deadly threats. Blocking a turbulent river is already a challenge on its own, but engineering flaws, structural aging, or extreme natural events can transform a dam into a true ticking time bomb. What's most terrifying is that no one knows exactly when that bomb might go off. In a matter of minutes, thousands of people can be caught completely off guard. Prepare yourself, because some of these dams still exist and they continue to deeply concern experts around the world. Assessing the real level of risk of a dam is far from simple. Many structures appear stable for decades, while internal problems quietly accumulate beneath the surface. Microscopic cracks, minimal shifts, and nearly imperceptible seepage can slowly evolve over the years without drawing attention. The greatest danger lies precisely in this false sense of security. When visible warning signs finally appear, collapse is often already in an advanced stage. Unlike other types of structures, a failure in a dam doesn't affect only the construction itself, it threatens entire communities living downstream. Extreme natural events such as intense rainfall, earthquakes, and hurricanes act as final triggers. They don't create the problem, but they accelerate what was already destined to fail. At that point, the dam stops being an engineering achievement and becomes an imminent threat. Throughout this video, we've gathered some of the most concerning dams in the world. We cannot say with absolute certainty that they are safe, and that's exactly what makes them so frightening. Sit back, relax, and follow every detail closely, because what you're about to hear may completely change how you see these concrete giants. Guajataca Dam. The Guajataca Dam, located in Puerto Rico, is a clear example of how a poor choice of location can compromise an entire structure. Built in 1928 for agricultural irrigation, it appeared to perform its role well for decades. However, the real problem was hidden beneath its foundation. This dam was built on top of a massive landslide zone stretching for kilometers. Over time, the entire structure began to move slowly, just a few millimeters per year, but enough to cause continuous cracking and deformation. The danger became undeniable in September 2017, when Hurricane Maria struck the region. The water release systems failed, and the spillway began to collapse. The risk of total failure forced the urgent evacuation of nearly 70,000 people. In a desperate attempt to contain disaster, crews dropped hundreds of concrete blocks and thousands of gravel bags into the damaged area. Catastrophe was narrowly avoided, but the dam remains unstable. If another hurricane hits the region, there is no guarantee it will withstand the impact again. The Todd Brook Reservoir in the United Kingdom began operations in 1838, a fact that alone raises serious concerns. Old dams require constant maintenance, and even a small oversight can lead to severe consequences. Since its construction, the proximity to abandoned coal mines caused continuous leakage. Water seeped into the ground, weakening the structure and causing the dam to slowly settle over time. On multiple occasions, the reservoir had to be completely drained for emergency repairs. In 1977, engineers discovered a massive underground cavity that swallowed wood and mud like a giant drain. Even after costly renovations, the problems persisted. In August 2019, intense rainfall displaced concrete slabs, forcing the evacuation of thousands of residents. Military helicopters had to drop tons of material to contain the damage. Once again, the dam was saved, but for how long? The Mullaperiyar Dam in India was built in 1895 and remains operational to this day. Its advanced age is one of the main factors that elevate its risk level. 19th century technology was simply not designed to face modern challenges. With the capacity to retain hundreds of millions of cubic meters of water, any failure in the structure would have devastating consequences. Concern intensified after a catastrophic dam failure elsewhere in India in 1979, prompting emergency reinforcement of Mullaperiyar. Later inspections revealed internal damage within the masonry, further worsening the situation. Compounding the danger, the dam is located in an active seismic zone where earthquakes are not uncommon. Experts warn that a stronger tremor could severely compromise the structure, affecting millions of people living downstream. Recent extreme rainfall pushed the reservoir to historic levels, proving that the risk is far from theoretical. The Varosa Dam in Portugal is one of the most visually impressive dams in the world. Its arched structure and towering height convey a strong sense of solidity and safety. To this day, no significant structural failures have been recorded. However, the danger there doesn't come from the dam itself, but from a staircase built along its side. Originally constructed for maintenance purposes, it was blended into the landscape almost seamlessly. Its extreme incline turns every step into a real risk. A fall in that location would be fatal. Even people without a fear of heights struggle when climbing or descending. This dam reminds us that not all danger comes from catastrophic collapses. Sometimes, the threat lies in seemingly simple details that are just as deadly. The Staple Dam in Switzerland was once considered a model of safe engineering. Built in 1932, it operated for decades without major incidents. Over time, however, engineers began noticing vertical separations within the structure. The upper portion slowly started shifting relative to the base, an extremely alarming sign. Later, horizontal cracks appeared, indicating that the dam might not withstand extreme events such as earthquakes. The risk of partial collapse became real. As a result, a new dam was constructed directly in front of the old one. It was a massive investment, but a necessary step to prevent a future tragedy. These examples show that no dam is eternal. Time, nature, and human error eventually take their toll, even on the most impressive structures. Often, the solution isn't reinforcement, but complete replacement of an aging dam. This requires enormous investments, careful planning, and difficult decisions. Ignoring signs of deterioration can be fatal. History has shown time and time again that warnings always exist. The problem is when they are not taken seriously. Modern engineering has evolved, but it still relies on constant monitoring and respect for the limits imposed by nature. As the planet faces increasingly intense climate change, the future of dams becomes a critical issue. Extreme rainfall, flash floods, prolonged droughts, and seismic activity place pressures on these structures that many were never designed to endure. What once happened once in a century may now occur far more frequently. Another alarming factor is the aging of global infrastructure. A large portion of the dams still in operation today were built in the last century or even earlier. Materials that have exceeded their intended lifespan continue to hold back millions of tons of water, often without sufficient investment in modernization and continuous monitoring. In many countries, limited financial resources and delayed political decisions cause known issues to be ignored. Small cracks, seepage, and minor displacements are treated as normal, when in reality they are clear warning signs. Danger rarely appears suddenly, it builds silently. Uncontrolled urban growth has further increased the risk. Entire cities have been built downstream from these dams, exponentially increasing the number of people vulnerable to a potential collapse. In many cases, evacuation plans are either non-existent or completely inadequate. The future of dams depends on decisions made today. Investing in technology, smart sensors, frequent inspections, and replacing outdated structures is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Every delayed decision increases the risk of an announced tragedy. In the end, these concrete giants represent a constant test between humanity's ability to control nature and the unstoppable power of natural forces. And the question that remains is unsettling: are we truly prepared for the day one of these dams fails? The dams we explored in this video are more than engineering structures. They are symbols of human ambition, attempts to dominate rivers, generate energy, and secure essential resources for millions of people. Yet they also serve as reminders that no structure is invincible. What's most frightening isn't just the risk of collapse, but the fact that many of these threats remain invisible to those living nearby. The water looks calm, the concrete appears solid, and daily life continues until everything changes within minutes. Stories of unstable dams show us that disasters rarely happen without warning. There are always signs: cracks, shifts, ignored failures, and postponed decisions. When tragedy strikes, the inevitable question arises, could this have been prevented? Learning about these cases isn't about spreading fear, it's about raising awareness. Information saves lives. The more people understand the risks, the greater the pressure for oversight, investment, and responsibility. The real danger lies in ignorance and indifference. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these dams impressed or worried you the most? Do you think the world is prepared to deal with these silent threats? Leave your comment below. Your opinion is essential to enriching this discussion. If you enjoy deep, dark, and real-world mystery content, subscribe to the Cloaked Mysteries channel, activate the notification bell, and leave a like. It truly helps the channel continue bringing stories that few dare to tell. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay alert to the mysteries hiding in plain sight.